Hello all, welcome to Get Set Law. In today's video, I'm going to give you some last minute tips for your MAH CET exam. The exam that we were preparing for so long, finally the exam day is here. So I'm going to give you some tips for during your exam day and some tips that you have to follow just before a night prior to your exam. So make sure to watch this video till the end. So first of all, one thing that everyone needs to remember, be it the fact that you are from Maharashtra, you have a Maharashtra domicile or you do not have a Maharashtra domicile, it does not matter. One and only thing that you need to remember is you have to secure above 115 or 120 marks. When you are getting in this range, you can be sure that you are getting into top colleges, either GLC or ILS. So these scores, make sure that you are getting into good colleges, the top ones. Now, when it comes to different subjects, I'll tell you the approach. So for legal reasoning, first, make sure to read the principle that is there. Read the principle properly and apply whatever is given in the principle in the facts that are there. Don't go beyond the principle that is stated. So make sure whatever you are writing, make sure whatever answer you are going for is based on the principle that is being given to you. Now, when you come to logical reasoning, two things I want to tell you. First, for logical reasoning, please revise the concepts that are there before you go for the exam and then try to apply those concepts to solve. Also, for logical reasoning, sometimes we have seen in last year paper that few mathematical questions were there. So make sure to revise certain important topics that I have told you in the previous video, that which are some of the important topics for maths that you need to revise. So just look up the formula before you go for the exam, and when you see those questions, don't panic. You have to solve the paper anyway. There is no negative marking to have to solve the entire paper. So solve those questions. If you feel stuck at any question, you're not able to get the answer, so make sure you're leaving that question. Use that rough paper that you will get to solve logical and mathematical question neatly. Make a chart or the table or the circle that you need to make and neatly solve it. So once you are done with the entire paper, you can come back and you can pick up from where you have left. Now, when it comes to GK, for GK, there is a division between static and current affairs. So when you look at the question, mark the option if you know the answer. If you do not know the answer, mark one of the answer. Don't leave it for last, because GK, if you know, you will be able to mark it. If you do not know, if you are having difficulty recalling it, whatever the answers are, so make sure you mark one of the answer and mark it for later. So save the answer and save it for mark for review, so that you are able to come back and review those options. At least you have not left that options entirely. Now, for English or verbal language, you need to focus on reading comprehension. For reading comprehension, before you jump to passage, read the questions first. First, when you read the question, you will be able to identify the key areas, the topics from which questions are there, and when you see the passage, you will be automatically able to relate it. So make sure you're solving the reading comprehension first, then you're going to other questions of vocabulary, analogy, and these questions you're solving thereafter. Statement conclusion, these questions you're solving thereafter. So first, your target should be reading comprehension. Now, during your paper, make sure to solve the entire paper. Since there is no negative marking, you have to solve the entire paper. This problem you all might be facing, that you're not able to complete reading the entire paper in the span of 2 hours, but make sure you're dividing your entire paper into different timelines. Like for legal, if you are devoting 30-35 minutes, so similarly you're devoting less time for GK. You're devoting or keeping more time for logical reasoning, because you have to solve there. So ultimately, divide your paper between different timelines, that you have to give certain time to one subject and then you have to move on to next subject. So make sure to divide that 2 hours time period between different papers, because ultimately the score that you are getting will be a cumulative score. There is no sectional cutoff. Apart from it, there is no negative marking. So there is no chance of leaving even one single question. So make sure what you are doing is you are dividing the entire paper. Once you are done with your time period for one particular section, you move on to the next one. Now, about the questions that you are sure that the answer is this, make sure you mark it then and there, and then you move ahead. if you're not very sure about the answers, then do one thing, do mark the options there and mark it for review. That way, if you're not able to come back to the option later on because of paucity of time, at least those options will be counted. Otherwise, if you have not marked anything and the time is over, the options that you have left will not be counted. So make sure you're marking something and then you mark it for review, come back and then think and then solve the paper. But one thing that I've seen student making mistake is that they even review the answers they are 100% sure about. So those questions, the answer of which you are 100% sure about, don't waste your time on reviewing it, because either you will not be able to give your time to the questions that actually required your attention or that you have marked for review, or you will end up changing your answer and marking the wrong question. So always go with your gut feeling. If your gut feeling is stating that this particular option is the correct one, mark that option and move ahead. If you're not very sure about it, then mark it for review and review it again. Now about the paper. So once you're solving the paper, once you're solving certain subjects, so if you think my legal is very good or my logical is very good, how am I not able to solve certain type of question? How am I not able to solve direction ka question or maybe legal mein torts ka question? Then in that case, you don't have to feel like that. What you have to do is, this question you're not able to solve, then at that point of time, you are supposed to leave that question for now, solve the other questions, because if you are wasting time in that question that is taking approximately 5-10 minutes of yours and you're not getting the answer, then in that case you're also losing out on the questions that you might have gotten corrected. So in this situation, make this decision that you are leaving this question for later, marking it for later, and then moving on to the next question. So whatever subjects you like, whatever topics you like, if you get questions from those topics and you're not able to solve, don't get too emotionally attached. Wherever you are stuck, leave it at that movement and move to next question. Now, certain things to remember just before your exam day, or I would recommend that these are the things that you do just before your exam day, is take colored printout of your admit card or hall ticket along with 2 ID proofs, 2 original ID proofs and 2 color photograph. Make sure you cross check your center twice or thrice. So if there is one center allocated, you are not going to some other center. So make sure to check the center and every detail twice or thrice. Read the instructions that are there in the admit card and try to reach the center 1 hour prior to your reporting time, not the exam time, but 1 hour prior to your reporting time. So if you keep this as your target, then in that situation you're not getting stuck, or you're not having you don't have to face that difficulty that you're stuck in traffic, you're not able to find the vehicle, or you are reaching the center late. So make sure you are following these things. Apart from it, just a night before the exam, make sure you're sleeping properly. So when you go to exam sleep deprived, you will miss out on the concepts that you were even very confident about or that you know about. So make sure whatever you have done till the time you have given your 100%. So just a night before your exam, miracles don't happen like that. So make sure whatever your efforts are, you're done, but you're taking a good night's sleep. So that way you are able to focus in your exam. Also, about the rough paper, you'll be getting rough paper in the exam in the center itself. So you do not need to take any notebook or anything with you. Carry just ballpoint pen with you. So you need to carry only ballpoint pen, your ID proofs and your photograph, nothing else apart from hall ticket. So make sure you're carrying these things. Apart from it, one more thing that I want to highlight, in the exams, smartwatches are not allowed. So make sure you're wearing analog watches, because smartwatches will not be allowed during your exam time. Now, lastly, one thing that I want to tell you all is make sure to carry your self-confidence, because you have done the preparation. You have given your best till date. So in the exam, you are not going to mess it up. You are going to perform your best in the exam. You have to be confident about it, that I have done everything. I have diligently solved everything. I have revised everything. And now in exam, I'm going to perform my best. So whatever happens, this exam is not the end of the world. We'll meet again after the exam to analyze the paper, but in the exam, during your exam, have that self-confidence with yourself. Carry that positive attitude that you'll be able to crack this exam. It's not that difficult to crack. All the very best for your exam. We'll meet again to analyze the paper. Make sure to carry your self-confidence because you will be doing your 100% best. I'm very sure of it. And we'll meet again to analyze the paper. If you like the video, press the like button and subscribe to our channel. I'll see you all soon again. Thank you.